Welcome, Dark Knight Films Reviews, and another Hammer Productions night. Tonight, I will be reviewing She, released in 1965. She stars Ursula Andress, Peter Cushing, Bernard Cribbins, John Richardson, Rosenda Monteros, Christopher Lee, and Andre Morell. She was directed by Robert Day. Now, this one was written by David T. Chandler and is based on a novel from 1887 entitled She, A History of Adventure, written by H. Rider Haggard. Now, when I watched this movie back when I was a kid, with child eyes, I wasn't a big fan of it. I thought it was boring and uninteresting. But watching it more recently with adult eyes again, I noticed, first off, the three main characters in this, which are played by Peter Cushing playing Professor Holly, Bernard Cribbins as Job, and John Richardson as Leo Vinci. The first thing I noticed is those three characters reminded me greatly of the three main characters in the 1939 film Gunga Din, starring Cary Grant, Douglas Fairbanks Jr., and Victor McLaglen. And it reminded me of that because there's three guys, and they are looking for adventure. In this one, though, they are freshly discharged from the military, and they're out on the town after being discharged. And that's when everything just starts to trickle down into one adventure moment after another. And for the first, probably 30, 40 minutes of this, that's what it reminded me of. It reminded me of Gunga Din, which I love that movie. That's a classic film that I really enjoy. So I was really digging that, that style that it was going with. Whereas Peter Cushing is excellent as always, playing Professor Holly. He was great in this film. And literally, he is the lead character, and he is the star of this movie, even though he is second billed next to Ursula Andress, even though she doesn't have as much screen time as any of the three leads. I don't believe. But Peter Cushing's great in there. Bernard Cribbins plays the sort of assistant partner to the team, Job. And early in the film, he starts out kind of annoying with the comic relief elements that they give the character. But as the film starts veering toward more serious territory, Job becomes a more interesting and pretty well-acted, well-played character. Bernard Cribbins does a great job in this. The character that I was slightly disappointed by, and that's because his performance starts off really good, and that is John Richardson as Leo Vinci. Now, the character starts off, like I said, they are discharged from the military, and he is talking to the rest of the group, and he says that...
It's a funny thing, but during the desert fighting, I was never more at peace. The place had an atmosphere, something I've never felt before.
And, that makes the character strong in my mind. It makes him a badass character that I'm like, wow, this character's pretty cool, you know. And then, you know, they write something like that, and then, you know, the writing ends up writing him into stupid situations where he is portrayed more, you know, the writing for this character writes him one way, one moment, and in the same scene it could be, he's portrayed the opposite. Like I said, the scene where he's talking about that, and he suddenly sees Rosenda Monteros' Ursula in the little club that they're in. And he immediately goes over and starts flirting with her, which, well, that's fine, you know. And he falls for the trick that she is sent in there for by Christopher Lee's character of Bilali. And one of his men noticed Leo's resemblance to the lost city of Kuma's former leader, Callicrates. And because of this resemblance, they end up knocking him out and capturing him. And they use Ursula to do this. First off, he lets himself be tricked into that. That's fine. Okay, I'll let that slide. Then he wakes up in this place where there are big guards guarding both doors and keeping him in this place that he wakes up in. Then all of a sudden, in walks Aisha, played by Ursula Andress. And he just completely forgets all about his, you know, predicament where he's been knocked out and been brought to this place, and just walks over and starts romancing her. I mean, come on. Write the character smarter than that. Come on. And then all of a sudden he just falls in love with Aisha. Now, I get it. You know, Ursula Andress was a beautiful woman. And the tagline for this film was, you know, the most beautiful woman in the world, or whatever. And I think she's beautiful, but the most beautiful woman in the world? I don't agree with that. But yeah, he's just completely enamored and goes just completely, you know, because Ursula, played by Rosenda Monteros, is a very attractive woman herself. And yet he completely forgets about her time and time again in favor of Aisha as a character. So that makes him really weak as a character because of the way he is written. Strong in one scene and then weak in another. He ends up at one point finding out the history of the person he's supposed to look like, Callicrates. And he finds out that Callicrates was killed by Aisha because she was jealous. He was in a relationship with, and his lover in this flashback scene is actually played by a real princess, Princess Soraya of the time period. Ironically, that was kind of weird that they ended up bringing her in just for this little flashback scene. But he's killed. He finds that out. He realizes that. And then he continues to lust after Aisha. Even though it's revealed that she was a jealous bitch and killed him in his supposed past life, and he's still obsessed with her. And still, you know, you've got Rosenda Monteros' Ursula's character is in love with him and wants to get him away from here and help him and save him. And she tries to warn him earlier in the film, and he ignores it. because he wants to find the lost city of Kuma and find Aisha. And it just makes him a very weak character, the way he is written, flip-flopping like that throughout the film. So that was my only real issue with the film. Like I said, Peter Cushing's portrayal of Holly is great. Bernard Cribbins' portrayal of Job, although early, crazy because of the comic relief stuff, it makes it a little hard to watch. But like I said, as the film progresses, he becomes a much more interesting character. And then, of course, Christopher Lee's Bilali is really good, and Andre Morell's Hamid is a very good character as well. So, yeah, it has the one major issue that I have with it is John Richardson's character. And it's not because of his performance. I like his performance through most of this film. Yeah, some of the writing where they make him a strong character one minute and then a weak character the next. This scene is another idea of that. Ustane is about to be executed. He comes to her defense.
What are you doing? She saved my life.
And then Aisha gives him a dagger to get revenge on her for killing him in the past life. And he drops the knife and falls to his knees in front of her, serving her. And it's like, now, her nickname in this film is She Who Must Be Obeyed. But Peter Cushing's character of Holly, Bernard Cribbins' character of Job, they are not enamored by her and don't fall for her tricks and everything. In fact, Peter Cushing's character of Holly has a dialogue with Christopher Lee's Bilali and even says so.
And no one was born to be the vassal of another. You know and feel this too. I've seen it in your eyes. Your body does her bidding, but your spirit cries out to be free.
So, you're telling me that this older character, Holly, and his servant guy, Job, are stronger characters than Leo? The guy that's supposed to be the one that was really into war and didn't know what he was going to do with his life out of battle? Right. So yeah, his character is really badly written in this, unfortunately. And the film does suffer for it, unfortunately. And another thing, like I said before, Ursula Andress as Aisha is, she's fine with her portrayal in this, but her character is barely in this film for the first, she's in like two little moments in here, like, and I'm talking about 1 minute, 1 to 2 minute moments in here, and then she's gone. And you don't see her again until maybe 40, 50 minutes into the film. And then she starts getting a little bit more screen time in the film. And it's crazy that she got top billing in this film. This was one of those films where Hammer were trying to do a female-led film, similar to what they do successfully, I might add, with films like Frankenstein Created Woman and Dr. Jekyll and Sister Hyde. And sometimes that failed, like in the case of Blood from the Mummy's Tomb. And this film, it doesn't quite work for me as this strong female film that they created here because, like I said, I mean, Aisha as a character is not that strong of a character to begin with. Her character is a jealous bitch who, it's her own fault that she's in the position she's in, that she doesn't have her lover, because She couldn't satisfy him, apparently, and he went and found himself another woman. She jealously killed him, and now she wants to get this so-called reincarnation of him to fall in love with her and be with her. And then, again, he is torn between her and Eustaine, and again, she's jealous of Eustaine and tries to kill her, and eventually does kill her, which causes Aisha's men's downfall, because Andre Morell's Hamed rebels with his army. Even though they're underwhelmed weapons-wise, they pretty much kick some ass in there at the end of this film. But yeah, she is a strong Hammer movie through some of the performances, but I don't think Ursula Andress's Aisha and John Richardson's Leo Vinci are the strongest of characters in this. All the other characters are much stronger than both of them. So, my final review of She from 1965. I give this film a 7.9 out of 10. Had the characters of Leo and Aisha been written a little stronger, Leo in particular, this might be a much higher film. I might have put it up there as 10, because it's, like I said at the beginning of it, I loved the connection that I felt with Gunga Din with it. But yeah, it lets you down with these two characters. But what do you guys think? Do you agree with my review? Do you disagree? Let me know in those comments down below. And as usual, if you enjoyed this video, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to click that bell icon to be notified about future videos. And while you're by the subscribe button, don't forget to click that join button to become a Dark Knight fan. Alright, hope you've enjoyed this Hammer Productions night, and I hope you will join me tomorrow for another action movie night. Till then, thanks for watching.